Every year, over 100,000 Americans die from accidental poisonings. And while we often worry about slippery floors or sharp knives in the kitchen, the real danger might be sitting quietly in your cupboard. It might be the frying pan you've used for decades, the plastic tub you pack leftovers in, or the dish soap you've trusted for years without a second thought. Most people don't realize the risks these everyday items pose, but the consequences can be serious and even life-changing. For older adults, everyday choices in the kitchen can have hidden consequences, ones that affect more than just your meal. These common items can slowly chip away at your health, mobility, and even independence. With age, our bodies become more sensitive to chemicals, toxins, and allergens. What didn't bother you at 40 can become a real threat at 70. A pan that releases invisible fumes when overheated. A container that leaches hormone-disrupting plastic into last night's stew. Over time, these exposures add up. According to experts from the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health, it's not just about long-term disease. It's about how these things can weaken your immune system, disrupt balance, aggravate respiratory conditions, and leave you vulnerable to accidents that should never happen. That's why this video matters. In the next few minutes, you'll learn about 5 everyday kitchen items that could be quietly harming you and what you can do about it. You won't get fear-mongering, you'll get facts. Each of these items is backed by research from trusted health sources, and each one has a safer, affordable alternative. We're not asking you to throw out your entire kitchen. We're showing you how a few simple swaps can protect your body, ease your breathing, and maybe even help you live longer, without giving up the routines you enjoy. If you cook or eat at home, even just once a week, this could be one of the most important videos you watch this year. Before we get into all the details, if you haven't, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so you never miss a video packed with simple, life-improving tips tailored just for you. This isn't just about cleaning up your kitchen. It's about protecting your future. Your health, your safety, and your independence are worth that click. Let's begin with an item nearly all of us use. You might have made eggs on it this morning. Item number 1, non-stick cookware. You probably use them for eggs, pancakes, stir-fry, maybe even every day. Non-stick pans, especially those coated with Teflon, have been kitchen staples since the 1960s. Lightweight, easy to clean, and convenient, these pans are found in nearly every household, especially among older adults who want to make cooking easier on their joints and wrists. Whether it's a griddle, a wok, or a frying pan, non-stick cookware promises speed and simplicity. But it comes with risks that aren't printed on the box, and the harm can build up slowly without any visible warning. Here's the concern. Most non-stick cookware is coated with a chemical called polytetrafluoroethylene, better known as PTFE. When heated to around 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which can happen in just a few minutes on a high burner, PTFE begins to break down and release toxic fumes into the air. These fumes can cause flu-like symptoms in humans, fever, chills, chest tightness, often referred to as Teflon flu or polymer fume fever. While younger people may recover quickly, older adults with asthma, COPD, or weakened lungs are at far greater risk of complications. According to Harvard Health, these fumes can trigger or worsen existing respiratory conditions, especially in enclosed kitchens with poor ventilation. But that's not all. Older Teflon cookware, particularly those manufactured before 2013, may contain residues of perfluorooctanoic acid, or PFOA, a substance linked to cancer, thyroid problems, and immune system suppression. Though PFOA has been largely phased out in U.S. production due to environmental and health concerns, its legacy lives on in older pans still sitting in kitchen drawers. The Environmental Protection Agency classifies PFOA as a likely human carcinogen. When a non-stick pan gets scratched or overheated, tiny bits of these chemical compounds can leach into food or become airborne. For aging adults with already reduced detoxification capacity, these exposures matter. Many seniors don't think twice about using a pan they've had for years, but long-term, low-level exposure to PTFE fumes and chemical residues can lead to persistent breathing issues, increased inflammation, and higher toxic load. The Mayo Clinic has noted that consistent respiratory irritation can reduce oxygenation and stamina, increasing fatigue and reducing overall quality of life. All of this, just from making a grilled cheese on high heat. The danger isn't dramatic, it's cumulative. Take Mary from Sarasota, Florida. She's 72 and lives alone. Every morning she'd use the same scratched Teflon pan she'd owned for over a decade. Her go-to breakfast was eggs and toast. Simple. But over time, Mary began developing a chronic cough. She brushed it off as allergies or just getting older. Eventually, she was diagnosed with chronic bronchitis. Her pulmonologist asked about any household irritants. When she mentioned the pan, he raised an eyebrow. Tests showed inflamed airways and reduced lung function. She swapped her cookware and improved ventilation, and while the damage wasn't reversible, the progression slowed. Mary now tells her friends to check the bottoms of their pans. So what can you do? You don't have to stop cooking. You just need to choose safer tools. Cast iron pans are one of the best alternatives. They're naturally non-stick when seasoned properly and don't contain synthetic chemicals. A good pre-seasoned cast iron skillet costs between $30 and $50 and lasts for decades, often improving with use. Another excellent option is stainless steel. While it may require more oil and a bit of learning, it's completely inert and safe at any temperature. If you prefer a lighter option, look for ceramic-coated cookware that's specifically labeled PTFE-free and PFOA-free. These typically range from $20 to $40 and provide non-stick performance without the risks of traditional coatings. When replacing non-stick pans isn't immediately feasible, there are precautions you can take. Always cook on medium or low heat, even if you're in a hurry. Never preheat an empty pan. Use a vent fan or crack a window for better airflow. And be cautious with scratched surfaces. Once the coating begins to peel, it's time to replace the pan. You can also use oil sprays or a thin layer of butter to improve food release without turning the heat too high. Item number 2, plastic storage containers with BPA. Whether it's last night's stew, a sandwich for your grandchild, or leftovers from your favorite diner, plastic containers are everywhere. They're lightweight, stackable, and cheap. You'll find them in fridges, lunch boxes, picnic coolers, and pantries across the country. Many of them are clear tubs, sandwich bags, or reusable containers labeled with recycling codes like number 3 or number 7. But inside that convenience lies a chemical that doesn't belong anywhere near your food. That chemical is bisphenol A, or BPA. It's a synthetic compound used to harden plastics, especially in containers and linings of food packaging. According to the CDC and the National Institute on Aging, BPA can leach into food, especially when plastic is heated, scratched, or aged. Microwaving leftovers in a plastic tub, storing tomato sauce in an old container, or even washing plastic in hot water can increase this leaching. Once BPA enters the body, it mimics estrogen and disrupts your natural hormone balance. And that's where the trouble begins. Researchers from Harvard Health have linked BPA exposure to a range of serious health risks, particularly in older adults. These include higher rates of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even cognitive decline. Hormonal disruption from BPA may also weaken the immune system, affect sleep patterns, and contribute to bone thinning, all issues that become more dangerous with age. Even low levels of BPA can accumulate over time, especially if you're using plastic containers daily. The concern isn't about one meal, it's about what happens after 100 meals or 1,000. Some plastic containers claim to be microwave safe, but that doesn't mean BPA free. In fact, many plastics labeled safe for heating still contain other bisphenol compounds like BPS or BPF that may be just as harmful. Cracks, warping, and cloudiness in your containers are signs that the plastic's integrity is breaking down, which makes chemical leaching even more likely. The risk is highest with acidic or fatty foods, such as tomato sauce, soup, or anything with oil, because these pull more BPA from the container surface into the food, and the effects may not show up right away. Bill, age 78, lives in Portland. A retired postal worker, he prided himself on staying active and eating healthy. Every Sunday, he'd make a large batch of vegetable soup and portion it out into plastic containers for the week. He'd microwave it, store it in the fridge, reheat it again. It was a routine he'd followed for years. But during a routine physical, his doctor noticed unusual hormone markers and mild memory decline. A follow-up blood test showed elevated levels of BPA. At first, Bill was stunned. He didn't smoke, rarely drank, and exercised daily. The only possible exposure? His trusted plastic containers. He switched to glass and stainless steel, and within 6 months, follow-up testing showed his BPA levels had dropped significantly. There's no need to throw out your entire kitchen. Just consider a few smarter swaps. Glass containers with locking lids are widely available, microwave safe, and free of harmful chemicals. A starter set costs around $25 and can last for years with basic care. Stainless steel is another safe, durable option, great for lunches or pantry storage. Silicone food storage bags are also growing in popularity. They're flexible, resealable, and safe for both the fridge and microwave. You can find a good set for around $15. When shopping, check for labels that clearly say BPA-free and avoid recycling codes number 3, PVC, number 6, polystyrene, and number 7, often polycarbonate with BPA unless stated otherwise. Choose containers with smooth, intact surfaces and avoid any that are discolored or warped. If you must use plastic occasionally, never microwave it and don't wash it in hot water. Cool, dry storage is safest, and replace any container that starts to show signs of wear. It may seem like a small step, but your body will thank you for it. Item number 3, aluminum cans and foil. Walk into almost any kitchen and you'll spot it. Aluminum. It's in soda cans, canned beans and tomatoes, the foil you wrap your leftovers in, and even those disposable baking pans used for potlucks and holidays. It's light, cheap, and conducts heat well, making it a go-to for cooking, storing, and preserving food. But for older adults, this everyday item may pose an invisible threat that's easy to overlook. Aluminum is a soft metal that, when ingested in high quantities, can accumulate in the body over time. The World Health Organization and researchers at Johns Hopkins University have linked long-term aluminum exposure to neurological changes, especially in older adults. While a healthy body eliminates some aluminum through the kidneys, this process becomes less efficient with age or impaired kidney function. As aluminum builds up, it's been associated with memory loss, confusion, and even possible connections to Alzheimer's disease, though research is still ongoing. Cans and foil are especially concerning when they come into contact with acidic foods. Think of canned tomato juice, citrus fruits, or vinegar-based sauces. These acids can react with the aluminum, leaching small amounts of the metal into the food. Heat makes the reaction worse, so baking with foil, especially when touching items like lemon chicken or lasagna, increases the risk. The problem is cumulative. A single can of soup won't hurt you, but regular consumption combined with daily use of foil or aluminum bakeware can raise exposure beyond safe levels. The interior lining of cans was designed to help prevent this leaching, but many linings contain BPA or other bisphenols, another health concern. And when these linings break down or are exposed to heat, they're no longer effective barriers. Aluminum foil, meanwhile, has no lining at all. It's porous and reactive. If you bake or store food in foil regularly, particularly warm or acidic food, you may be absorbing more aluminum than you think. Meet Clara, age 85, from Peoria, Illinois. Widowed and fiercely independent, Clara kept to a routine. She drank 3 cans of tomato juice every day and often used foil to wrap her baked potatoes or line her toaster oven. Over the course of a year, her family noticed subtle changes. She was repeating herself more, missing appointments, and seemed increasingly disoriented. Her doctor found no sign of dementia or stroke, but when a neurologist ran blood work and dietary assessments, the culprit became clearer. Clara had elevated aluminum levels, likely from a combination of her daily habits. She transitioned to glass-bottled juice and began storing her meals in ceramic dishes instead. Within months, her mental clarity improved noticeably. You don't have to stop using aluminum completely, but consider safer options that protect your long-term health. When it comes to canned goods, choose glass jars or brands that specifically advertise BPA-free and aluminum-free packaging. More soups, sauces, and vegetables are now sold in glass, and many can be ordered online or found at health-focused grocery stores. For baking, consider switching to ceramic or glass bakeware. These are durable, non-reactive, and widely available. You can often find affordable sets at department stores or online, and they're easy to clean and reuse. Stainless steel pans are another solid choice. They don't leach metals and can handle high heat. When you do use foil, add a protective layer underneath. Parchment paper can act as a barrier between the aluminum and your food. A roll costs just a few dollars and can help reduce your exposure dramatically. Storing leftovers? Skip the foil and try reusable silicone lids, which stretch to fit bowls and dishes. A set of 12 costs about $10 to $15 and lasts for years. You can also transfer food into glass storage containers right after cooking. Not only are they safer, they keep food fresher too. Item number 4, latex gloves. They're tucked under your sink, in a drawer near the trash bags, or next to the cleaning supplies. Latex gloves. Disposable, stretchy, and snug-fitting, they're a go-to for washing dishes, scrubbing counters, or prepping meat. Many older adults rely on them daily to protect their hands from hot water or strong chemicals. But those same gloves may be causing more harm than they prevent, especially if you're over 60. Natural rubber latex, the main ingredient in traditional disposable gloves, has been identified by the CDC and Mayo Clinic as a common trigger for allergic reactions. Some people develop contact dermatitis, a red, itchy, or painful rash that shows up after repeated use. Others experience more serious effects like sneezing, watery eyes, or even respiratory trouble when they inhale latex particles, especially when the gloves are powdered. These symptoms can worsen with age and with prolonged exposure. The tricky part? Allergies to latex often develop slowly. You might wear them for years before noticing a reaction. What makes matters worse are the chemical additives used in glove manufacturing. To make the latex flexible and strong, producers often add accelerators, compounds that help the rubber set faster. These include thiorams, carbamates, and benzothiazoles. While effective for production, they can be harsh on human skin. For older adults who often have thinner or more sensitive skin, these chemicals can lead to cracking, burning, or peeling on the hands, especially when gloves are worn for long periods or with wet hands inside. And because gloves are often used during warm, wet tasks like dishwashing, they trap moisture and heat against the skin. This creates a perfect environment for irritation to build up, especially if you're reusing gloves or not drying your hands completely before putting them on. Repeated irritation breaks down the skin's natural barrier, leaving it more vulnerable to infections and allergens. Jack, 82, from Tacoma, Washington, didn't think twice about slipping on latex gloves every morning to wash dishes and wipe the counters. His wife had always done it, and after she passed, Jack took over the routine. But after a few weeks, he noticed red patches on his hands that turned into painful, raised hives. At first, he blamed the dish soap, then the water temperature. But the irritation worsened. A visit to a dermatologist confirmed the issue. Jack had developed a latex allergy, likely worsened by the chemical accelerators in the gloves. He switched to nitrile gloves and started using a long-handled dish brush, and the hives never came back. Safer alternatives are widely available and often just as affordable. Nitrile gloves made from synthetic rubber are latex-free and resistant to many common allergens. They don't use the same harsh accelerators and are ideal for those with sensitive skin. A box of 100 costs around $8, just a few dollars more than latex, and they come in various sizes and thicknesses. Vinyl gloves are another option. They're not quite as flexible or durable, but can be perfect for quick tasks like food prep or light cleaning. If you want to avoid gloves altogether, consider using dish brushes or silicone scrubbers with long handles. These tools protect your hands from heat and detergent while minimizing skin contact with water. For cleaning, microfiber cloths and squeegees can often do the job just as well without the need for gloves. Some simple tips can also reduce your risk of irritation. Always dry your hands thoroughly before putting on any gloves. Don't reuse disposable gloves. They're meant to be tossed after each use. If your gloves tear, remove them immediately and rinse your hands. After removing gloves, wash and moisturize your hands to restore the skin barrier. Item number 5, scented dish soap and cleansers. You probably recognize the smell before you even turn the tap. Citrus Fresh dish soap, lavender all-purpose cleaner, ocean breeze disinfectant wipes, These brightly labeled, sweet-smelling products line the shelves of every grocery store and sit under millions of kitchen sinks. For many, they're a daily staple, used for wiping down counters, scrubbing greasy pots, or giving the kitchen that clean scent. But that scent might be doing far more than just freshening the air. What most people don't know is that many scented cleaning products contain phthalates, a family of chemicals used to bind fragrance to soap. And those same chemicals have been linked to hormonal disruption, respiratory issues, and chronic lung inflammation in older adults. According to the EPA, these products can also release volatile organic compounds, VOCs, that linger in the air long after use, exacerbating conditions like asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, especially in seniors over 65. The danger increases in poorly ventilated kitchens or when concentrated products are sprayed directly on surfaces. Harvard Health adds that even green-looking products can be misleading, with labels hiding harmful ingredients under terms like fragrance or parfum, both of which can legally mask dozens of undisclosed chemicals. Ethel, 80, used to love cleaning her countertops with a lemon-scented spray. It reminded her of her childhood and gave her home a cheerful feel. But over time, she noticed something odd. After each cleaning session, her throat felt tight and her breathing grew labored. She assumed it was allergies, until her doctor linked her worsening wheezing and frequent cough to prolonged inhalation of cleaning fumes. Ethel's kitchen wasn't just tidy, it was toxic. Once she switched to unscented soap and started using a vinegar-based spray, her symptoms improved in weeks. There's a safer, simpler way to clean. The best alternatives include fragrance-free dish soaps and surface cleaners certified by the EPA's Safer Choice program. These products are clearly labeled and free from phthalates, synthetic fragrances, and other endocrine disruptors. A popular swap is a bottle of eco-friendly soap, around $6, which lasts just as long and cuts grease without leaving behind VOCs. You can also make your own cleaner with ingredients you already have. Mix vinegar with water for a disinfecting spray, or combine baking soda and water into a paste for scrubbing tough spots. A gallon of white vinegar costs about $2, and a box of baking soda is around $1. For safety, be sure to ventilate your space when cleaning, and if using any concentrates, consider wearing nitrile gloves to protect your hands from irritation. Now let's recap the 5 common kitchen items that may be quietly putting your health at risk, and the safer, easy-to-find alternatives that can make a lasting difference. 1. Non-stick cookware. Many pans coated in Teflon release toxic fumes when overheated. Swapping to cast iron or PTFE-free ceramic gives you a safer, longer-lasting way to cook. 2. Plastic storage with BPA. Containers labeled number 3 or number 7 can leach harmful chemicals into food. Glass and silicone options are durable, microwave safe, and don't carry hormone-disrupting risks. 3. Aluminum cans and foil. Especially when used with acidic foods, aluminum may leach into what you eat. Try ceramic baking dishes or glass storage jars, and use parchment paper as a barrier when foil is necessary. 4. Latex gloves. Though common for cleaning and dishwashing, latex can cause allergic reactions and skin issues. Nitrile or vinyl gloves are gentler on skin and just as effective. 5. Scented dish soaps and cleaners. That fresh smell often comes from phthalates and VOCs, which can irritate lungs and disrupt hormones. Fragrance-free cleaners or DIY vinegar solutions are safer and just as powerful. These changes may seem small, but together they add up to major protection, especially after age 60. Avoiding chronic exposure to chemicals, reducing allergic reactions, and preventing slips or irritants that compromise your mobility, all of it supports a longer, safer life at home. You've worked hard for your independence. Don't let an old skillet or bottle of soap chip it away. So here's the challenge. Choose one swap to implement tomorrow. Whether it's tossing that cracked container or ordering a new set of ceramic pans, your future self will thank you. The little things we do today often make the biggest difference later. Now it's your turn. Which kitchen item shocked you the most? Was it the non-stick pan you use every morning? Or maybe the dish soap under your sink? Scroll down and tell us in the comments. Your story could help someone else realize what they've been overlooking too. Your experience truly matters here. If this video helped you uncover even one hidden hazard, please like it, share it with friends and family, and hit subscribe plus the bell so you never miss an update. Everyone deserves a safe kitchen, and your support helps more seniors find these life-saving tips. Your kitchen should be a place of comfort and care, not risk and regret. With a few smart swaps, it can be. Let's age safely together.